Priscilla Green, and this is my math toolbox of manipulatives to use. The first thing I have here is the egg carton. The egg carton here can be used for plenty of things. It can be used for adding, subtracting, division, multiplication. You can use things like these here, nice beans here, and if you're multiplying like times 5, you put 5, I'm sorry, let me show you, 5 in here, 5 in there, and then they can actually be able to add them together, but also you'll understand that 5 times 2 is 10, well 5 plus 5 is 10. So that was my egg carton. Beans, that like you see that goes in here, can also be used in so many different instances in math. We have beans for the egg carton here. We can have beans just for adding and subtracting on their own. You have beans for making a graph if you're not trying to differentiate the information. You're not sorting anything, but you're just telling how many in each column. The beans can be used for that. So, for instance, say they're having a little bit of trouble, you sit them down, they think it's cute because it's something small to play with. And then, hey, 2 plus 4, take out 2 here, and then you put 4 over here, and are able to count and see how many are together. And like I said with the graph, let's say we have a graph over here, and you have 6 here, and it can represent the information. So for representation on graphing would be one of the fun things to do with the beans. I have some coffee Keurig pods, 2 different types. I have chocolate, it's a little bit heavier than the coffee, and it will be nice to use for balancing, so they can, even if they just use it in their hand, you can actually feel the weight of the chocolate much lighter than here. Well, we use it on a scale. See that the chocolate actually, there we go, actually moves it down a little bit further, but if they're the same on both sides, which is why I always try to show an elephant sitting on the ball, because it shows about distributing weight and having equations, equal equations, equality and things like that. So those are the coffee pods are for. String. I think string is one of the most fun things, especially in first grade, to use because they get it and the first thing they think about is ooh. But string can be done when we're talking about shapes. Shapes are how you create shapes. We talk about closed shapes a lot and what is a shape. So if you're able to put it together, such as this, like here's my triangle, or if they want to try to make a circle, you can actually represent your shapes with your string. Rectangle, square, all of it can be, get something here, here we go. And then you get to actually tell that it's a closed shape if you have to actually close the shape. So closed and open shapes are also covered with that, with the string. Alright, we have a water bottle here, and it looks kind of like, but every kid can get like a smaller water bottle or a big water bottle on their way to PEs and have their little inch ruler here, and we can talk about displacement of water, how we use water, if you drink so much and how much you have left by measuring it with the rulers. So it actually is going to complement the measuring standard, and then introduces them to volume, even if you're only talking about how many fluid ounces are in this bottle compared to the shorter bottle. Okay, I have mulch over here. With the mulch, I just think that kids love to play in the dirt. They love to go and just dig and get things. And I learned a lot as a first grade teacher. So you let them go grab a handful of mulch and bring it into the classroom and tell them, okay, we're going to use this for our 10s and 1s today. Our base 10 is awesome. So then they're getting to separate again. Already introducing or going back to review, whichever way you did graphs compared to measurement, and then and base 10. And then you got the little ones here you can use for 1. So if you want to show me 21 and you're telling me these are your 10s and these are your 1s, you take out 2 big ones and of course 1 small one, and that's 21. Show me 45. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 4, I'm sorry. And then 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So using it for base 10, it seems to be like something that was kind of fun, but messy but fun. Of course, allowing them to have candy. They love that. For creating graphs, sorting them, of course, First of all, because with graphing, even in first grade, you have to sort the information, represent the information, and then interpret the information. Easily done with candy because, you know, they have only 2 or 3 colors in here. We have the pink, and they can separate those and then write how many they have of each using tally marks, which is one of the first parts of the graphing, and then put them actually in the graph by lining them up here and then drawing their boxes. Okay, coloring up to 4, bar graphs, coloring up to 5, or use picture graph, showing, but you know, using different colors so that then you know how much it is, and then presenting a question like how many more yellow than pink there were inside of the pack. We have beads. Beads are everyday, and kids love beads, and I love beads because they're so small and they can be done pretty much the same way as the candy. The difference is, you know, symmetry, also presented with beads. And when we talk about shapes, and you're talking about, you know, even though it's kind of small, you can investigate, you can add in a little science, give them all hands lens, because we have hand lens in the classroom. I should have one. But, you know, give them a little, they look at it and they separate it for their graph, and then you start talking about the symmetry, going back to shapes again, and knowing which ones actually, you know, if we cut it in half, would it be even, and partitioning, that would actually help with that. Cereal box. Cereal box has a lot of information. It has percentages on the side, it has totals in milligrams and grams, you know, so they can learn how to read these things and what they actually look like. But also, once, you know, we can do area. You get smaller cereal boxes, different size cereal boxes, and because, you know, you have the short ones and you have these and you have the bigger ones, and measure the perimeter as well as measuring all 3 sides and getting the volume of the cereal box. Alright, now we have fasteners. I say fasteners because you can get a little bag like this. That's about 20 kids in your classroom. It's about 20 fasteners. As you first learning of math in first grade, you just do, when you do clocks, you only do like to the hour and half hour. So if you want to do half hour and quarter hour. So if you want to do half hour, quarter hour, okay, what's 12 o'clock? They can just close both of their things together like this. Okay, it's 12 o'clock. 12:30. Since there's a shorter side and a longer side, it's perfect. You can see that. There we go. So it's 12:30, and then of course 6 o'clock. 9:15. So it'll be kind of, you know, just doing something short if you want to be in line and on your way to a class. Legos, geometry and base 10. This is the fun way because now we're going to be putting things together. Take this little man off here. We're going to be putting things together to measure it. So first they get to actually construct something, which gives them more of a hands-on and gets them engaged with what we're doing. And then once they construct it, they can use their trusty ruler for measuring. They can make a closed-in item by, you know, with your blocks here, something, okay, there it is. Something with a low volume. Okay, we can also, once again, with that, talk about symmetry. You know, what side would you have both sides the same? Why is this side bigger? Because, for instance, why is this side, you know, here, you know, bigger than this side? This is a rectangle, this is a square, you know, describing it and actually explaining what they did. The sales paper. Sales paper is fun because you can talk about money, budgeting, and things like that. Okay, everybody has $5, or everybody had, you know, and then go $10 the next day or $6 the next day. But you give a certain amount and they have to tell what they're going to buy with that amount. But then also decimals. When you have, we're going to do this paper right here is good for, I said, for first grade because it doesn't have very many decimals. It has like total amounts. But once you get like here to 649 and 199 or 2 for 5, you know, figuring out how many 1 is, you know, with division and multiplication. So, or 10 for 10, how much is each one? 3 for 10, how much would 1 be? 25% off. So that's quite a bit we could do with the sales paper and have a little bit of fun doing it because we're talking about food. One of my favorite things. Dominoes. I love dominoes. There we go. I love dominoes because I learned so much to do in the first grade classroom. As a center, like at the back table, it's almost independent. You just come by and check the groups because they're creating math problems off there. Okay, you have 2 blocks. You're going to do an addition problem and a subtraction problem. Then you're going to give me some doubles facts. You know, pick only the doubles facts and tell me what they are, and then tell me their sums, and then or code where the difference would be 0. But then also unknown numbers. You can make an unknown equation. This one is, 12 take away 0, 12 take away what is 0, or you can use 2. So that's, and I did, at first I thought, okay, that's not going to take but a minute, but it really does take them each their 20 minutes of time. You'll actually stop them from doing this because they have so much fun, especially with so many dominoes. We have our towels here. Towels were just purchased, but it's fun because we can use the beads again for the non-standard measurement, as well as like our paper clips here for non-standard measurements. We can talk about measuring things and see how many of these it takes. You can also use your actual ruler to try to get the exact amount, but we've done so much exact amounts. This is the fun way, kind of like allowing them to lay on the floor as an example, and measure something. Okay, now this is the floor. This is, you can pretend these are your U, and you can use in how many paper clips it takes to go this way, or you can use your beans, how many beans it takes to go. And then you can count them, but make sure that we're teaching that they have to be touching. They have to be touching to give an accurate amount. If they have all that space, then also that's going to be a misconception, and once they're done, and then you put them together, it'll show them, okay, this is why. Because, that's the first thing, babies want to know is why I have to do that. And you can also, you don't have to use the big towel to take up so much, you can use a small towel. And then you can also use a small towel and a big towel to compare and contrast, the lengths. Like this is actually a square, this is a rectangle. And they can figure that out by measuring them, or just by looking, by sight. I think that's it. That's my whole math toolbox. I had, 15 things with the multicolored cereal that pretty much is my last deal. I love this cereal because it's still Cheerios. But we can do some of the same exercises. Interpreting graphs was one of the biggest issues I had in first grade. So actually getting them to do this enough times with different things, and in the end they can eat it, get their minds working, and it's healthy. It's not like one of those sugary cereals. Alright, so that is my math toolbox for today. Thank you guys so much, and you have a great day.